Freshies, today's assignment is going to be a little assessment, so you guys will be graded on how well you guys have kind of learned about our CERs the last couple of days and writing a scientific argument, and kind of learn what we need to work on moving forward, as we are going to be using CERs as our scientific argument throughout the year. Okay, so your learning targets for today: I can answer a question using a claim, I can use proper evidence to support my claim, and I can tie my evidence to my claim by explaining my reasoning. So today, you guys are going to go ahead and start with your bell ringer, which is similar to what you guys did on the music tasting that we did, where you guys had cards on topics and you had to sort them based on whether they were claim, evidence, or reasoning. So just like that, we have 6 cards today. 3 of them involve one topic, phases of the moon, and then the other 3 look at the movement of sound waves, which we're going to talk about waves a bit this year. Okay, so first thing I would suggest you do is sort the 3 cards, which ones are about sound waves and which ones are about tides and phases of the moon. Okay, and then out of those 3 cards, one is going to be the claim for that set of cards, one's going to be the evidence, and one's going to be the reasoning. So read through those cards, figure out what your claim is first, and then make sure that you guys use what would be evidence. Think about what evidence is and what evidence is not. And then as far as our reasoning goes, which card explains why our evidence or how our evidence supports the claim. So really focus on what the claim is. It's answering the question. Okay, it's a topic sentence. What evidence looks like, what evidence doesn't look like. And then remember that reasoning is the why or the how. So that's kind of our explanation that ties our evidence back to our claim. So take a second, finish your bell ringer, and then when you guys are done, you guys can unpause this video and come on back. All right, so the rest of this assignment is going to be divided into whether or not you are an A partner or a B partner. Okay, if you guys are at home and you're not really sure whether you're on the A side of the table or the B side of the table, I want you guys just to choose and do the A side. Okay, on slide 3 and 4 for the A side, okay, you guys have an article. So you guys are going to read through this article on slides 3 and 4. There's a little image to kind of show you guys the volcano that we're looking at and considering. Okay, this article is called, "Is a Long Dormant Russian Volcano Waking Up?" So notice again that this is the A partner. Again, if you're not sure what partner you are, just do the A partner. Okay, then after you guys get done reading the article, you guys are going to identify the question being asked. So you're going to type that right there. And then remember that our claim is going to be the answer to that question. That's going to be kind of our topic sentence for our scientific argument or for that paragraph. So what will your claim or topic sentence of your argument be? Okay, so type that right there. That should be both incomplete sentences. Okay, then what you guys are going to do is take a look at your evidence sentence starters. So according to the text, based on the passage and the text it said, the author stated on page blank. We don't really have pages for this one, but we do have slides. So you could do slide 3 or 4. It said, the author claimed, the author teaches us, or for example, or for instance. Okay, all of those are really good sentence starters for evidence. On slide 7, you guys have where you will include your evidence. Okay, again, if you need to review back to the Candy assignment where we talked about what evidence is and what evidence is not, we should have that included on slide 2 for our notes. Okay, you guys are going to come up with 2 to 3 pieces of evidence that you guys will use to support your claim. Okay, after you have chosen your claim to answer the question, go back through your article and highlight the pieces of evidence that support your claim. You guys might have more than 2 or 3. So highlight everything that supports your guys' claim. You don't necessarily need to do full sentences. My rule of highlighting is don't highlight anything you wouldn't want to memorize. So if you highlight a whole paragraph, would you want to memorize that? Okay, so just highlight the important little snippets that you guys need, and then choose 2 or 3 of those that you highlighted. You guys are going to see in that article that there's lots of evidence for the claim and lots of evidence against the question. Okay, so you guys kind of get to choose a side on that, and it's just about your guys' evidence. So do you think that this Russian volcano is dormant, or that it could possibly erupt again? Okay, so again, pick your guys' evidence either for or after. Okay, use a couple of those sentence starters to help you guys get your evidence going and have good transitions for your sentence, because eventually we're going to be putting these into a paragraph. Okay, then you're going to move on to your reasoning. Some great reasoning sentence starters. This means, this suggests, this implies, this shows blank because, this proves blank because this is important because based on the evidence I can infer or the author's point is. So again, this is the how or the why. So you guys are tying in the how or why of your evidence back to your claim. Okay, so you guys will, if you had 2 pieces of evidence, you guys will do 2 pieces of reasoning. If you had 3 pieces of evidence, do 3 pieces of reasoning. Again, these should all be in complete sentences and have good sentence starters for transitions because eventually we are going to put them all together in a sentence or a paragraph. So you're going to start with your claim. It should be a simple 1-sentence statement answering the question and kind of giving us the topic for your scientific argument. Okay, then include your guys' evidence in your reasoning. Reread it, make sure it makes sense, make sure it flows, make sure you use complete sentences. Okay, and then for your guys' exit ticket, you guys will go through and rank 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 being this is perfect, 1 being I have a lot of work to do. Okay, how was your claim? How was your evidence? How was your reasoning? What is one thing you did really well? You guys got to think of something. Okay, if you guys didn't feel you did very well on this, you guys have a lot of things to kind of really dig deep and think of one thing you did well. And then what is one thing you can work on more? There's always improvement that we can make. No one is perfect, so you have to put an answer down for that. Okay, if you guys remember that you are partner B, same kind of setup here, except you guys are going to be reading the article, could a space elevator make space travel easier? Okay, you guys have your article on this page, and then you have a captioned picture on this page. It was kind of hard to see the little captions, so I wrote them on the side and did arrows pointing to the captions. Okay, so again, what was the question being asked in complete sentence? What is your claim or your topic sentence? So that's the answer to your question. Yikes. Okay, use your evidence sentence starters. Go back, highlight what is positive evidence that could you use this elevator or negative evidence? No, I don't think this is the thing. Okay, what's in support? Okay, so pick out 2 to 3 pieces of evidence. Use your own words, use those sentence starters, and then use your reasoning. Here's some sentence starters, same thing there, and then throw them all together, starting with your claim to form your paragraph, and same exit ticket for partner B. How do you rank your claim, evidence, and reasoning? What's the one thing you did really well, and what's one thing you can work on more? Remember, this is for an assessment grade, so make sure you guys put a lot of effort in. You guys should have good grammar. Okay, complete sentences, and make sure you reread to make sure it all makes sense. Okay, once you guys are done, make sure you guys let it save before you exit out and hand it in. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will talk to you later. Bye.